Hello and welcome. I haven't been in my best condition all this week, but today I'm feeling a little bit better. So here it is, the third episode of my Show Up and Tell show. Today I want to talk about why you should always choose a hard copy or download option instead of streaming. Streamings are such a bad thing. Why it is so? Well, uh, to begin with, I want to point out the recent story about John Cleese, who is among the very best comedic actors of all time. He was a part of Monty Python group, uh, but also he had many roles in movies that were just brilliant. Uh, the thing about him is um, he told about the pressure he experienced uh, when preparing the stage adaptation of one of his works, Life of Brian. Uh, that was one of the most well known, I would say, classic uh, comedy movies. It generated tons of memes. That biggest dickus thing that was from that movie. And during a preparation of the stage version of Life of Brian, John Cleese said he experienced several well reputable, well known people around show business uh, pressuring him to exclude one of the episodes from that for one of the episodes that was in the movie, but to their taste, to their uh, feeling of the art, should not be in this in theater on stage in this day and age, because it could provoke some negative reaction from let's say a specific social group. Uh, that still doesn't touch the story about streamings. Yes, but it is very similar to the thing happened in 2020 when HBO Max, in some sort of uh, censorship move, removed from their platform a classic movie, one of the most viewed, most uh, cited, most well-known movies of old Hollywood, Gone with the Wind. Uh, it is really an old movie based on an even older book. It has depiction of very different times. Nobody argues about that. Uh, but it just was censored. So somebody in the management of that corporation decided that no, that movie shouldn't be. Uh, I will rephrase it. People who pay for subscription, people who want to watch movies, should not be able to choose that specific movie to watch. what you can do with your money against such policies, against such actions against huge corporations. There are still two options to that. First of all, you can buy a hard copy. There are not many DVDs right now, and rightfully so. It's quite an obsolete format. But Blu-ray are still here. Movie enthusiasts, collectors still use it very much. It's great. It by the way, it has better quality to video than your usual streaming, even premium, even top tier uh, streaming services you can buy. Uh, Still, your usual Blu-ray discs give you 3 to 4 times higher bitrate, which means better digitalization of the picture. It means better um, color reproduction as it was intended by original creators. And streaming services have to compromise on that because the bandwidth is limited, because the higher is bitrate, the more it costs to streaming platforms to show you that movie. So they don't do much to improve the situation, because it would cost them more. And on contrary, they tend to use more uh, modern codecs, but not in the way to more effectively compress the picture, but to compress it more without really giving much consideration about picture quality. But that is not the first and the foremost. Um, the most important is hard copy. You have control over it. You buy it once, and for the time being, for as long as that hard copy lives, and in many countries you are allowed to make backups of that hard copy, and in the countries that do not allow that due to copyright law, I still haven't heard about any legal cases about people who actually do that for themselves. They just do backup copies and use those backup copies for themselves for their personal use. They have never ever been prosecuted. So again, that's the first option. The second option is downloading. That is harder option because, as you know, it requires space on the storage device. I don't know, if you use computers to watch movies, it requires SSD or hard disk space. If you use some mobile devices, it would probably require space on your SD card, or use some external storage devices. It's not cheap. It will require you to gain at least basic skills of file management, on how you deal with cataloging what you have or what you need, and so on. And again, doing backup copies, it again requires time, requires a bit of knowledge, at least a tiny bit of it, not much really. um, but still you get the copy that you can store, you can keep unchanged, and that is a big thing. Uh, that movie, Gone with the Wind, was brought back to the streaming services, but only because of very active negative feedback towards HBO Max. In some other situation, when it's about a lesser known movie, or about some I don't know, less attention grabbing topic, it could just go, and corporations owning copyright might just, I don't know, rob you of the opportunity to experience some pieces of cinematic art. Such cases already exist, not only due to censorship, but just because of uh, copyright limitations. For example, we have first 5 seasons of old classic sitcom Donna Reed show on streaming, but seasons 6 to 8 are nowhere to be found. Uh, and generally, the sixth season was at the time perceived as the best. It had the highest rating. It was viewed as a great success in a genre of classic sitcoms, but due to some guy in manage top management of some corporation decided, no, we will not allow to view that movie, or it's not profitable enough to support it, or I don't know what. I'm really not feeling I am able to think in the same way top management of corporations usually does. And are we from the same planet at all? You may say it's not that critical about some old show, but believe me, it happens right now in Russia to more popular things. Some get altogether banned, like a recent movie Aita by regionally well-known Yakut film director that made a movie about criminal crisis situation in Yakutia, about a Russian uh, police officer going against the local population, and uh, Russian government decided it was anti-Russian, I don't know, anti. It was against the interests of the state, and it was clearly banned. You can see it uh, on any streamings. Every streaming platform available and still available in Russia was forced to remove that movie. You weren't able to. You weren't able to. You and still you are unable to see it anywhere in cinema. The only option right now to see that banned movie would be torrenting it. So yeah, some politicians just force you to break the copyright law if you want to keep your freedom of information. Uh, Another example is that some movies get edited. They that I believe is clearly a thing from I don't know, Orwellian 1984. Just editing the past to control the future. For example, in a Barbie movie that was pirated by Russian cinemas and still shown there, that actually is quite an anecdotal story. They do not have the rights to that movie, and they can't legally obtain, due to sanctions, any copies to show in the cinema. Yet they uh, do it as a free demonstration, not, as non-profit. Yet it paired with some Russian local short movie, and they sell tickets to that short movie, which costs like really that Barbie tickets would be. Yet that Barbie movie is officially declared as non-profit screening, and just like that, they show it. Well, they showed it. I believe not anymore. It's kind of thing of a recent past. Yet they edited it. That episode where versions of Ken dance together, and it it I would say shows what or implies there may be some tender feelings between males, which is again against the current regulations in Russia. That was blurred out. That whole scene, it's blurred out. You can't see anything really. Uh, the thing the same thing happened with a couple of older movies on streaming services, mainly Kinopoisk, the most popular, I would say, and probably most profitable Russian streaming service, where they just cut some episodes that in the eyes of censorships, uh, in the eyes of censors, look bad. They depict LGBT community, or they depict some liberal ideas that go against state policies, or they depict some historic acts that go against mainstream propaganda narratives. There were more than 20 movies that were edited just like that, and that is exactly what Soviet Union did when it showed foreign movies. Pretty much every movie sh- shown in Soviet Union was missing, I don't know, 2, 3, 5 minutes of runtime due to censorship, and that was not purely ideological. Some movies have, I don't know, purely innocent scenes cut off just for the sake of it. Just that some bureaucrat can show its importance, that they can do something. They can decide between who stays and what stays and what's not. Just the pure demonstration of power. Similar thing happened to audio service Yandex Music. By the way, Kinopoisk also belongs to Yandex company. Yandex Music removed more than 1,000 audio tracks, including songs of artists who uh, were declared foreign agents in Russia, and songs that contain some words that now act as trigger words to some again. And they removed some podcasts, some talk shows that weren't in the mainstream narratives. So those were just lost. And if you don't have it downloaded, it's missing. I mean, it may not look like a big problem in the moment, but uh, think about this. You have your favorite movies. Maybe you even have some movies you watched with your parents. I certainly do. There are few dozens of those movies. I have good memories with associated with my parents watching it with me as a family moment, as something that uh, forms to the point my childhood. And imagine you can't show those movies to your children, to your significant other, to next generation, just like that, because somebody decided it wasn't worth it, or it wasn't profitable for them, or it wasn't in their interests. Just like that, they rob you of the whole layer of culture, potentially. Another example of that is audio archive of the last independent Russian radio station, Echo of Moscow. Uh, it was forced out of anything, out of everywhere. Actually, it was closed. It was raided. Uh, Shortly after war censorship regulations in March of last year. And its website was closed, its servers were raided, so there was no option to there there was no way to save a backup of that audio archive that was forming for nearly 20 years since the emergence of their website. There were daily programs with many interesting people, with artists, with politicians, with analytics scientists, famous figures, with activists, and so on, so on. And it was really independent radio station. It got its finances from different sources, not all of them were actually clean, but it wasn't following any of the state narratives. It gave the voice to many people who were really against everything Russian government symbolizes now, and has been for many years now on. And that archive seemed lost, totally lost. You can't do anything. The server is down. You have no access to backup storage. What can you do? But that website had an option to not only listen as a stream any radio program you wanted, but also download it. And many listeners of that radio did that. And former former assistant of the head manager of that radio station. Now he's in exile in Germany. He organized decentralized, kind of free, independent radio on the internet, uh, consisting of talk shows and streams from uh, different channels on YouTube, mostly made by former employees and former associates with Radio Eco of Moscow. Now it's called just Eco. And he started the initiative of collecting that archive back. He called for old-time listeners to send him the files if they have it, and with the hope to collect it. I was participating in that. I had several hundreds of audio programs from radio stored on an external hard disk, and now at the moment as we speak, it still continues, but there are more than I would say, well, there are some programs that have their full archive restored. You can hear voices from some very educated, very smart analytics about many things in life, and I don't know, on politics, on social movements, on, I don't know, humanity as a whole. So that was not lost just because somebody cared to download and store what they consume as a media product. You may say it only may be a problem in some, I don't know, underdeveloped, wild, poor country. And to the point it's true, but things can change, and with the recent populist trend in politics in developed rich countries, things can change rather quickly. Before you know it, you may not have the rights you used to have. So examples like Hungary, for example, show us that even in the heart of Europe there can be changes against the human rights, against the civil liberties, and against the freedom of information. So it may be beneficial for you, for next generations. You will have to live with, coexist with. I mean, you won't die tomorrow, I must assure you, and you will have to deal with at least one or two or more, maybe three generations coming after you, and it's in your interest. They will be, I don't know, their upbringing goes into the uh, informational freedom, and they have all the options you had in your life, at least. So that's why you should always use hard copies or download, never stream.